basketball always on my mind. Less than 2 months till the brackets come out. Part 2 of our interview with the best college basketball writer in America continues here on The Freak Show on the CW with my man Jeff Goodman from FoxSports.com. Obviously, Kentucky played tonight, but we sit down with Jeff before the game today. But Jeff, barring a shocking loss at Ole Miss, even though Kentucky is due for a bad performance, your take on the quote-unquote state of the union of the Cats right now?
You know, you got to give Gillespie credit. I mean, they're 5-0 in the league. Obviously, the league is down. I wrote that and got plenty of backlash.
Dude, it's much worse than down.
I know. I've said it.
Those people are crazy.
The Kentucky fans don't want to hear that.
It's the worst conference I've ever seen.
It's the worst BCS conference in America.
What a joke. It is a joke. There was 10 people at the Alabama-LSU game, and that was for first place a couple Sundays ago, and there ain't nothing else to do in Tuscaloosa. Talk about the Cats.
No, but hey, you got to give them credit for getting the most out of a team with legitimately two high-quality players. Meeks has been playing out of his mind. I think I have him as maybe number 6 or 5 in the country in the Player of the Year, race right now. Patterson hasn't even been terrific yet. He's still averaging 18 and 9 or whatever it is.
Unbelievable.
He's solid, and the key again is still going to be point guard play. As I wrote last week when I said that the SEC was down, if you put Kentucky in the Big East, I still say they'll be fortunate to finish in the top 8.
I agree 100%. I'd say they're ahead of West Virginia, ahead of Providence, maybe even with Villanova and Syracuse.
I think Syracuse is better.
Syracuse a little better.
Syracuse better. You could make a case Villanova. Matchups play a part. You could say, hey, how could Marquette defend Patrick Patterson? Well, Marquette did a good job on Luke Herringody.
Well, Herringody still went nuts last night, though. Another 19 rebound and almost 30-point game. But you're right. But Marquette's keys are Burke and Haywood, Lazar, right? Hayward, he's coming around. But Burke, you know what? I don't think either team got a point off their bench last night in that Marquette game.
That
is sick.
Bench
that is sick.
Stinks.
Sick.
I mean, it's
not one bench point for a top 10 team.
A top 10 team.
Hey, Cats. You mentioned point guard play. Who do you want on the floor at that position more? Do you think you throw Liggins to the wolves, let him make his mistakes in this crappy conference, and hopefully he peaks? And does Porter need to be on the floor, or do you like Porter because he's slightly more steadying?
I don't like either one of them. I don't like either one of them.
I know you don't, but you got to do what's he going to do?
I think I'd let Jody Meeks.
Let Meeks run it. Yep.
No, I wouldn't let Meeks run it because he's got to play off the ball, and he can't work that hard, and he's not a point guard either. But, I think it would depend on matchups and what they're doing, if they're pressuring the ball or not. I like Porter. At least Porter makes sound decisions, but certainly, Liggins' upside is a lot higher than Michael Porter.
How big of a disappointment are Miller and Liggins compared to the hype? And does that go back to screw hype? They are who they are. Did you expect more, though? They're becoming lockdown defenders, at least.
I expected more out of Liggins. I always, and I saw Darius Miller play numerous times in AAU ball and was never blown away by Darius Miller. Never thought he was what they were hyping him up to be as a program changer and everything like that. Now, he might be that in a couple of years, but I still don't see it. I think he's a good, solid piece. He'll help Kentucky. But let's be honest, after this year, and I know, Kentucky fans don't want to hear this.
There's nothing coming into the point guard either.
Nothing coming in the point guard.
Not J.J. Villarino.
You may lose Patterson and Meeks.
I know.
And what do you have? You have Daniel Orton
and Matt Pilgrim.
Yeah, well,
your boy.
I don't even want to talk about Matt.
I know, man. I know. You talked about him at lunch. You're like, 1 rebound, 1 point, John. I mean, what else can I say? Hey, you see the Cats winning their first round game of the tournament and nail biter in the second, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this team winning a couple games depending on matchups. They're as good.
It's all about matchups.
I've said this before.
It's all about matchups.
Exactly. They're as good as, Memphis or Arizona State or some of these teams.
Tennessee.
But they could also lose in the first round.
Amen. Well, a TCU matchup I saw yesterday. I don't know much about TCU yet, but I agree they could easily lose in the first round. It'll be interesting to see where Pitino and Billy Clyde take them from this point on. Hey, how about a prediction tonight? I think we have less than a minute left. We're taping this in the daytime. Northwestern hosting Indiana, or is it Indiana hosting Northwestern? I just forgot, but is Indiana going to get that win tonight?
I'll take the home team, whoever it is. It's not exactly high on my radar.
I know, but they're across the river. We got to give them a little bit of love. Hey, I love your radar, and we look forward to chatting with you when we can. I was kidding about the contract for life thing, unless I send you those pictures that I have at you. Your thoughts on Duke beating Maryland by 41, one of the most embarrassing things you've ever seen in your life, and we have 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
Didn't you go into hiding?
Well, I went into hiding in a bottle.
I mean, what if Maryland loses tonight, in the game that will already be played by the time we go on against BC?
Yeah, I've already given up on them, so it doesn't matter.
Do you want them gone? Do you want Gary Williams fired?
I have one of them fired for quite a long time. Yes, I've got to go, Jeff. You're fired right now from this segment. Yes, I know. I love you. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it, Johnny.
He gave us a national championship, but he recruits worse than Jeremy. See ya.